From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, find out about the National Sweets and Snacks Expo starting Monday. There are 2 new workforce regulations that may affect your business. We'll update you. And our industry focus is on data science and how it can give your business a valuable advantage.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Time to talk about the week ahead in this week's Business, Equity, and Opportunities. And what a week it will be. The Sweets and Snacks Expo starts tomorrow in Indianapolis. The National Confectioners Association says it's the group's premier business-to-business event, launching new products, helping create the next trends in candies and snacks. The association says the confectionery industry distributes more than $37 billion through retail sales in the economy each year and has at least one manufacturing facility in every state. Among those in Indiana, Newfangled Confections here in Indianapolis. Carrie Abbott is the owner.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
Well, tomorrow I will be setting up at the Indiana Convention Center, downtown Indy, for a candy and snacks trade show where we are one of 1,000 exhibitors. For starters, it's the most exciting trade show. I mean, who has an opportunity to be around all these vibrant colors and flavors? It's international, actually. A lot of even meetings can be set up with export partners. We'll have a couple of those. I would love to reach into Canada, maybe Mexico, like really other countries that have interest in a peanut butter candy. So it's confections and snacks. It's a business-to-business trade show. So it's people in the industry that will be attending. So buyers, brokers, manufacturers, suppliers, all of our candy partners that go to learn. They go to taste new treats, see who's in the industry, new businesses or existing businesses, but new products. I love the trends, so it's really fun to see what's happening. And this year, I actually don't know. So, because I haven't been yet this year. So 2024, I bet when I walk the floor and I read, there's a daily media piece that comes out, I'll get to see some trends, even if I can't visit the booth. And when that happens, you actually won't see those hit the shelves for another year. And that's kind of how trade shows work, is companies will bring new products, or there will be brand new companies, and they should hit the shelves in about a year. The first year out of COVID that conventions were open, Indiana opened before the state of Illinois. And so the National Confectioners Association, the host of this trade show, gave Indianapolis a little trial because we opened first. And when they did a very modified, smaller version of a trade show, they were really just wowed by the city and the treatment, and they've had several meetings since. And they have scheduled basically a 10-year commitment of a 2-city rotation between Indianapolis and Las Vegas. So it is, we'll say, the first official open business-to-business trade show in candy and snacks held in Indianapolis. And we couldn't be more excited. Indianapolis can actually host much larger shows and conventions, but it's still 16,000 people as attendees, badge holders in this industry that will be visiting, and just spread all over downtown Indianapolis. And as a representative also, kind of an ambassador of the city, I'm really looking forward to both worlds colliding. It's a big deal, absolutely, to get it. And while I love Chicago to visit, I'm not really sure it would ever go back there because over the last few years, it allowed the industry leaders and the association to look at a lot of other cities and states and kind of change their thinking of the messaging that they want to give to the partners, to the industry. Where you have your trade shows and your conventions, you're basically setting the tone and the foundation of what you want your attendees to experience. So Indianapolis is a very friendly city. Everything is very accessible. The hospitality within the downtown area is fantastic. And so that really does match the motto, and it really does match the messaging in just spreading the joy through confections. I'm really looking forward to exhibiting. So we will be one of the 1,000 exhibitors. Just more exposure to the industry. So a lot of buyers come through. While it's not a buying show, like I'm not taking orders or we're not selling something over, through our booth, this is the first time exposure to new brands. There's a lot of grocery brands that I love to partner with. They will bring in new products and quicker. And so I always look forward to seeing our grocery partners. But also, I look forward to the education piece. I'm really looking forward to just being local. I feel like I can concentrate more just being so close to home. And I'm also looking forward to showing off the city.
This week in accounting and bookkeeping, Courtney Kincaid brings us up to date on 2 new workforce regulations that could have a big impact on your business and your staff.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Yeah, recently there have been a significant number of changes in employment and workforce. As we try to make sure the workforce is competitive and innovative, the federal government has taken some steps recently that mark big changes, and those are the FTC's rule change to ban non-competes, as well as changing the threshold for overtime pay for salaried workers. Both of these have big implications on employers, and good and bad, right? For both, you should definitely be talking to your CPA as you think about what this is going to cost. Both of these initiatives are aimed at employers. Eventually, we'll probably have some higher salary costs, which is good for the workforce, but not something that all small business owners necessarily plan for. They are both intended to increase salaries, and through that increase in salary, the thought is that you increase innovation. The FTC ban, in particular, for non-competes, is hoping to create new small businesses. So where people might feel locked in to working for an employer, there's now a lot of new opportunity for them to leave and to start their own business without worrying about, being in conflict with that non-compete. From the employer's perspective, that really changes things, right? When you think about how you retain your staff and what the cost might be. Not only in paying higher salaries, but potentially in other programs or services, benefits that you might offer to increase that retention. So it's a really big deal and might have some serious financial implications. So working with your CPA is a really good idea to think about what latitude do you have in your financial picture, what can you do to better understand that piece and how it might have an impact in your bottom line overall. Another consideration with the non-competes is, your intellectual property. So that is a driving reason behind, other than the investment that you make in your employees, is the idea of, I don't want my employee going to work for my competitor and taking along this intellectual property. So making sure that you have other mechanisms in place, consulting with maybe your lawyer, but also your CPA to think about what are other ways that you can keep that safe. And so whether that's NDAs or other mechanisms, there are going to need to be other avenues that they take to protect their property. The other area where we're going to see some tremendous change is in overtime pay. The Biden administration recently changed the threshold, and it's the largest threshold increase that we've had for decades. It's currently in the mid-30s, and that threshold is going to go up to $43,000. So there's a significant increase for those employees that make less than that annually. There are some new requirements to address overtime pay. The argument is, we want to make sure that we are adequately compensating America's workforce, but at the same time, that puts a large burden on some smaller businesses and entrepreneurs who might have some benefits there that they haven't thought of. And so the long-term planning there, again, making sure you have the resources to comply. It's also just a really great idea to regularly make sure that you have your employees classified correctly. Not classifying your employees correctly can lead to some strong fines, which ends up being more costly in the long term. It's also important as you look at financial projections in the 3 or 5 year to know that threshold is set to increase so that it keeps up with inflation. That's something your financial planner or CPA can help you with to make sure that you are adjusting for increases in expenses with the same timetable that these expenses are anticipated to increase.
Luke Zhang is a recent Mira Award winner for the TechPoint Resilience Award. He's a senior data scientist and a rising star in the Indianapolis tech community. You're about to find out why.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
Hi everybody, my name is Luke Zhang. I'm currently a senior data scientist / prototype architect, solution architect at Resultant. I lead our Google business unit as a technical lead. We do a lot of work with Google to assist state government, state agencies, and federal government, federal agencies. I actually go around and talk to kids 5 years old about data science and how that translates to their life. One of the big examples that I use is fairly simple. When we are growing up, our parents will teach us when you are crossing the street, you gotta look left, look right, look for the cars before you make the move, right? Crossing the street. That's essentially that whole process of design thinking and then data collecting and making decisions. That whole part is data science. Translated to the business world, right now there are so many applications, so many things that's happening and then accumulate data. And as logical as we are, we try to use the data to make a better decision. So there's actually a trend in industry now where data science is slowly integrating and advancing to decision science, because at the end of the day, we're using data to help us make better decisions. If you look at it as a bigger picture, data science is like the biggest circle. And then inside there's machine learning, there's AI, and now we're talking about Gen AI, ChatGPT, Gemini. So there are the small niche of the data science. At this day and age, everybody should utilize data. The company I work for, Resultant, we work a lot with not just the big public sectors, also small business, private sectors, because if you want to gain that little bit edge over your competitors, nowadays there's so much data floating around that you need to utilize it to kind of figure it out. Okay, what's our next move? What products are selling better? What are the trends going on? Like during COVID, everybody's needing hand sanitizer. So those are the opportunities there, right? If you didn't get it in front of it, next thing you know, those are gone. And now coming back, full swing post-COVID where everybody loves to travel. So if you're like a small travel agencies, you got to seize that opportunity and see, okay, there are a lot more people booking the flights. There are a lot more people booking hotels. How do we utilize that opportunity? So I was actually originally born and raised in the great land of China. Hopefully my accent isn't too bad. You can still understand me. Came to the United States by myself at age of 16. Went to a private school in Florida and then went to Rose-Hulman. Shout out to Rose-Hulman, great engineering school, #1 in the nation. Not that many people actually know. I did my triple major undergrad there for 4 years. And luckily throughout the 4 years in college, I had a lot of opportunities to do internship, part-times, and the current company Resultant Resultant was actually the first company that I did my internship. So I kept that relationship going, and also, as you know, Hoosiers are super welcoming and open their arms to me, which make me feel like home. So I ended up staying after college, and I eventually, joined the company again, and then started working on the COVID response team, and now leading this Google business unit as a technical lead. This is one of my passions, trying to use my story to tell others Indiana can be an option, and not just an option, a great option. A majority of my friends actually ended up going to West Coast and East Coast because they never actually consider Indiana as an option. That's one thing that I'm super passionate about. I talk to the higher ed people. In fact, Indiana actually produced second largest engineers in this nation. We're right behind California, but we lose 83% of them to the West Coast, East Coast. Not that we don't produce great engineers or smart people, it's just we don't put the words out that they don't even know. Indiana is a booming tech town. There are a lot of other, industry that's booming as well. I think that promotion piece, that slogan piece, that catching your eyeballs piece is the most important piece. And there are a lot of great things happened here, and will happen here. We have Indy 500, we're sitting across from the symphony orchestra. We have, I just ran the Indy Mini. There's so many great things that happen here, but Indiana, to be honest, Indianapolis is not your typical spring break destinations. When I was in college, even at Terre Haute and at Rose-Hulman, we never considered Indianapolis as a place that we go visit. If you don't go visit, then we don't know what's going on in Indianapolis. So I think that slogan piece and that the talent attraction piece, how to get the words out, is something that we should work on as a state. I think for me, since growing up, my biggest thing is always trying to solve puzzles and then use that ability to help others. And luckily, with the field I'm in, data science, I don't have to be an expert in healthcare. I don't have to be an expert in law. I don't have to be an expert in any of the industries. But luckily, with data, I can provide my clients, the people that I love working with, the friends and family, with a very logical conclusion or recommendation. Whether they make that decision or not, it's out of my hands. But what I can do is putting all the cards on the table and tell them this is your next best move. I think that's the most interesting thing. And then obviously by providing them the best recommendations, you ended up helping people, because you will never know how much of a difference that those decisions accumulates. At the end, it will make a huge difference.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV, or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunities show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.